Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Another test video for another customer. This is a Marine ECM. This time it's a 5.0 GI for Lago Vista Marine in Texas. Brad Carter. That is his information in here. So let me see what he said. It says 1999 Volvo 5.0 TDI engine running very rich. Fuel pressure 25 psi. Swap ECM with a 5.7 and run clean. Please says I did disconnect port injector and engine also run clean for a few seconds. Thanks. Um, I've been running the computer. This is the turn time actually that I stop and reset it again. So on this third time I have 8.35 seconds. Everything is working good. I have it running right now on 3,000 RPMs. Let me focus into I want to get the RPM so we can all see that. And instead of those small numbers, actually I can do that here because I got using the software so I can look into that right here. All right, so let's put this. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's close that and reopen it. Perfect. We can move that here. We need throttle position sensor. My glasses on. Throttle position sensor. And we're gonna put bank 1 and bank 2 injector pulse width. That is band 1. And I have, oh, that's just injector pulse width. No bank 1 and bank 2 on this one. All right, so now we can see that here. All right, so what I want you to see is the pulse width of both injectors are the same. I did notice when I first connect the computer, I'm gonna open it up and see how it looks inside very shortly after I finish the video. But I did notice when I turn off that, oh sorry, when I turn it back on the first time, the injector bank 1 was beeping with nothing running, like it's shorted. And it went like, like almost like discharging a capacitor or something like that. It can be a short inside or not. But after that, I started and it's been working good every single time. So let me bring the RPM down. We can see that on the screen. I'm going to go down to idle. And let me bring the throttle position up. I put voltage and need percentage. So let me just get the percentage right here. We can see the percentage on the throttle better like that, or too low. IAC is working good, coil activation is good, and as you can see right here, both injector drivers are looking perfectly clean. No extra, nothing. I'm going to get a little more time base on the screen so we can see more injector activations, but we can see there is one, and very clean every time. Usually when this computer fails, the injector driver fails, I see multiple strikes on either bank or sometimes even in both. And that is when the injector drivers are bad. I'm not sure. I got two cursors in here, as you can see. This is nice about this oscilloscope. It's touch screen, so I can change anything in there. But so we can see it's going from 13 volts battery voltage to 170 plus or minus. I mean, not that zoom in to do that, but that's um, a very good driver. So if I put the cursor into channel 2 and I do the same thing, I mean, compare tomatoes with tomatoes, right? We got around, the same battery volt. I mean, I'm not in the exactly same position as before, but we can see that we are indeed very close from one to another, so perfect. If I remove the cursors, we can see even these I'm measuring because I got my channels and I can set that up in here. So I got maximum voltage on each of those channels, again connected to the injector drivers, and then the pulse width is 1.3, 1.3, around the same. It's just fluctuating very minimum, but I mean, it is pretty accurate with what my simulator is reading. So again, for those that are looking at the channel and want to ask, yes, this is a small, a basic simulator, but it works really good if you know what you're doing and you can do connections and everything. Yes, you can work in basic computer like this. Again, I'm not finding anything wrong with the computer running. So I'm going to come back out. Oh, the final I forgot to say it. Final reference is there. You saw the fuel pump um, going off. So as soon as I do that, now the engine run time is 0 seconds or 0 minutes because it's not running. If I turn this off, you hear that? That is an injector driver one, and that is, as you can see, is dimming out. That green right there is dimming out, dimming out, dimming out, dimming out, dimming out, and it's not there. So I think that we might have a problem internally, even though, again, fuel pump probe out. As soon as I turn the power on, it goes away. It's not really reacting as a normal shorted driver. I'm going to increase the RPMs to normal idle. Let it reset, and as you can see, we have a clean injector driver on both. We lost communication obviously because I turned the whole power off, but I can reconnect and everything is normal again. So the only thing that I see is that when I power off, it goes with that sound like beep, but it's not showing anything either on the oscilloscope. Because again, I'm going to just watch in here, and that one would be on the green, sorry, on the channel one, which is the yellow channel. So the yellow channel is connected to that output on band one. So I'm going to again come back out. With ignition on, we got absolutely nothing. You see ignition on in there. And then as soon as I power off completely, which this should not happen, okay, it's impossible to happen unless you disconnect the battery from the vehicle, um, from the boat. But let's say, because I'm not sure how my connections are, because I can see 5 volt references still. So when I turn this off, is when it shows that, and that beeping and sound will go away as soon as I unplug this. You see? So it's definitely happening on the injector. And let me just put cursor because I'm actually seeing something in there. I'm gonna have to restart this test because what is it? Where are you right here as far as voltage? So yes, it's showing 8 volts. If I put this in here, I mean, it's showing 8 volts in channel 1. If I move the cursors to channel 2 and I put that in here, we are getting 12 volts. And those 12 volts that you see there are coming from the simulator out to the computer. So why it's showing 12 volts on the channel 2, the green channel, is because the computer is not activating any of the drivers. We can definitely see some noise on that driver on channel 1, and that's why this is in 8 volts. Again, if I move the cursors, I wish I can put different cursors for different channels at the same time, but that's not the way in here. But so we can see it's still in 8.1 volts. So again, as soon as I power off or power on, still showing the same. Not sure. Let me run it. Yeah, it went immediately up. So let's turn it off. Yeah, with ignition on, it's in 12 volts. See? Like normal, because it's no activation. It should be there in 12 volts of battery voltage. It's not being activated. It should not be pulled to anything. As soon as I turn this off, and I hear that beeping, I don't know why it's not. Let me get the trigger out because that might be my problem right now is the trigger. Let me get the trigger off. Oh, it's automatic, a single. Hmm. Because I know, well, right now it's not really showing nothing. Let me disconnect that. This should be reading nothing. So this is like frozen. Let me get the oscilloscope to read because right now it should not even be there. I gotta disconnect it and it's reading something. Uh, channel 1. Be right back. It's actually nothing wrong with my oscilloscope. It's actually reading voltage coming through the wire on the computer. I just unplug it, and then I can see that even with this unplug, I'm still reading 7.7 volts. I put the min max in there, it should be reading 0. And if I unplug it, like I did now, you see, it goes to like, this is like room voltage. I am going to connect this. I'm sorry, I'm disconnecting the oscilloscope from the computer lead. This is coming from the computer, so let me plug it back in. All right, so I'm going to plug that back in into the simulator, and you're going to hear the beep immediately. You hear that? It's kind of like trying to activate. Might be shorted to power because it goes up to 8.2 volts. So, yep, this is definitely the problem inside the computer. So let me see, because you see how it goes away. It's almost like a capacitor is shorted or something is inside shorted on the computer. So even though it runs, something else is in here. So all right, Brad, let me open the computer, see if I find something, and then I'll be right back. After talking with Brad Carter in Lago Vista Marine, he approved the repairs. I did some tests on the curve tracer. Actually, I took a picture. Let me just get to the report. And let me just get my glasses out. GI Lago Vista Marine right here. So, yep. So this is, it's not going to be much to show here as far as, but for those that have seen my channel, so when I have the green result on the curve tracer, everything is good. Red is off limits. Let's say, it's outside the tolerance that I set in there. Doesn't mean it's bad. But when you have no result, as in here, it means it's an open. And I had that with the curve tracer. So I already went ahead and removed that driver. I want to show you in a second with a microscope camera how it looks in there. So I had the driver out. And now looking at what I see here in the traces under the actual driver, this is a hybrid ceramic computer. So a lot of components can be replaced, a lot of components cannot be replaced. You have to be careful when you're working on anything like this. And I mean, it's about try and error and learning and experience. I always recommend to get, good tools and a very good tip, because this is what you want to do in order to desolder these components. They have a special alloy that it makes it very high temperature, and it's obviously done like that so they don't come off. I do have the gel that is now covering the components. It's also something that I do have, and then I can service these computers as much as they can be serviced, right, repaired. All right, so I'm going to get the camera ready. So let me put the microscope camera. Come on. All right, perfect. So I'm going to spin that here. We'll probably take a picture for my records as well. Try to get a closer as I can. So give me just 1 second. Bear with me. Yeah, so as we can see there, the pads that it reaches. The problem, the one I have is on this side, and we can see corrosion in here, and that is not really corrosion, it's actually high temperature from a bad injector or something like that that it creates a lot of temperature. One of those legs onto that transistor is an NPN transistor that goes here. So they just, you cannot see that, but I can see the disconnects here. So I have to check the traces in here, and if it's any broken traces, which I hope it is a problem, then it can be repaired. I will still put the transistor back in place, a new one, and retest. But if I find an open trace in here, it's something I can repair. Hopefully that is the case and it's nothing more internal, and we'll see. But yeah, the repairs are going well. I'm going to try to keep this for one long video. Well, probably not that long, but and then you can see how repairs are done. I use hot air to warm up the entire computer so you can bring it into around 220 degrees. This one can take a lot more heat because it's meant to be attached to the engine, but 220, 240, that's what I start putting the entire board because this has a very heat uh, sink, a very big heat sink to dissipate the temperature so it doesn't warm up the engine that much or the computer that much. So I use the hot air to put that in temperature because of the way the actual connectors are here. I don't want to put them in the hot plate, and those are plastic. So I use the hot air and then use my hot air station. Sorry, not hot air, the iron station. This is the Haco FM 203, and I can use both of the irons. I use also the wick to first I put some of the soldering with lower rate, let's say, and then I can make the mix dissolve better, so I don't have to put that much heat onto the board itself. But with that big tip is the best way to do it. But yeah, so whoever said that cannot be repaired, there's a guy in California, I think it's Bob or something like that. He thinks he's the one master that can repair all the computers, and all he does is calibrations. He doesn't really repair much. And when he cannot repair it with the calibration, he deems the computer not repairable, and then he just keeps it. So yeah, that's not the case with us. And here we are crystal clear, and we show what we do to the customer. We don't hide anything because we know what we're doing, and it's nothing to hide. He doesn't share the calibrations. I don't know where he got it from. In Volvo Penta, you cannot get calibrations, so that's something that he did have, and I don't know how he got it, but that's why he claims that he's the man when he doesn't know much. But either way, so going back into here, this is going well. So hopefully I can put this back together and we had a good to go as far as connecting the computer and seeing no more short in there. And I will do the test with the card tracer and show it on the video as well. So I will keep going with the repair and then take you back as soon as I am with the card tracer. All right, guys, I put everything back together. Let me show you this quickly with pictures, how that looks. Let me see if I have the folder open. Right here. Yes. All right, so these are just pictures for the records so I can show the customer. Let me turn this one off. So this is just the finished results. Again, a new driver, fixing the pads that were open and damaged. This is just his information. This is the test that you will see on the video. I always take pictures for him and for me, showing that the actual driver, for some reason, how, I don't know how, I mean, it's probably intermittent, but yeah, it was staying on. We saw that in the beginning. Keep showing the picture. Um, this is just with the driver removed and checking to make sure that I use the correct MOSFET. You can get this tool. It's actually really handy, DCA 75, and you can check when you don't find the correct part or the mask is not the correct one or they hide it. Yeah, this is the way it looked before the repairs, through the repairs, and this is the test. All right, so I have right now the code tracer ready to go. We go into advanced mode, enable database. I'm going to go a little fast in here. Load the image. This is again my images. You just take a high definition image and then you can use it for the test that you're going to do and then load the data. I already have selected and this is my own data. Then you can use, let me see what it is out of this. All right, so it's going to start. I have for this put in the ground side. I'm using the probe one and I connected a wire here through one of the pins that is a ground on the actual module. So I'm just going to do the same test as I'm in here. So I'm going to touch in here and wait a second. Oh yeah, so that actually, as you can see, put a green dot in there that was not there, and I move over to the next one. So I'm going to touch this one, and then when it passes, it gives me a sound, and then gives me that. So I'm going to touch the next one, One second, guys. So as you can see, it shows me what to do next. I already checked all those. I'm just going to move over to, I think it's 15. Yes. So pin 15, it shows me here, and it gives me a close look up in there. I can show the magnification, less or more, and that will make like easier to see or not. So I think that's actually very good. Yeah, so let's start the driver now here. Again, I'm in here. Yeah, it passed. Oh, immediately passed. That's the great news because that was the fail. Perfect. And then now the next one. Perfect. Now we got a green on all the two drivers. This is 100% fixed. I'm going to connect it over and then run it, and we go from there. I'll be right back. I'm very happy. All right, guys. Immediately, I know that we are good. Let me turn all channels in here on. Change the range on channel 1 to, I think I have it in 4. That should be good enough. Take these cursors off. So move channel A down. Um, yeah, right now we're 1.3 and 1.1, so that's perfect. Not sure why. 1.4, 1.3. So that's actually good. I'm just saying about the lines. I don't know what they hear and they're there. It's just only one. Um, make sure that, let me see the setup. Make sure I'm with the attenuated. Um, oh, that's in the vertical. Come on. 10 to 1, yeah. Channel 1. Yeah, they're right here. 10 to 1. They're both attenuated. That's why. All right, so that looks a lot better. So 14 and 13 volts. Okay, I gotta change everything. It went up to, it's not reading what I had before, so I have to change. I'm sorry, guys, but I have to change all the measurements that I have here. So again, measure 1, I want maximum and going channel 1, measurement 2. I'm going to select channel 2, and then we're going to go over to maximum. Measurement 3, we can then take this to negative pulse width, correct, and then 4 is in channel 2 and negative pulse width. That will measure injector milliseconds, right? So, and we can close the setup. All right, so we are reading 14.2 and 12.98. That's whatever this is providing. Those grounds are on, but the nice thing that I don't have, I mean, the computer is connected. I can turn this off, and we can show you that as soon as I turn this on, there is no more beep or anything on the injector one, which was my concern. Everything is connected. Everything is reading good. All right, so we can turn the power on. Fuel pump is coming on. Great, I can see the IAC. We're going to select, that's the one I use for this one. And the computer is running. I'm going to change this to 45. Perfect. Uh, 1.2 milliseconds. Perfect. Let me change the time in here to, I'm not sure what I'm in here. So as far as setup, LEDC. Oh, yeah, this is for some reason I changed to now where it wasn't 40 volts, so we were never able to see that. Let me change the time to like 20 milliseconds so we can see more on the screen, and that is perfect. And it's working clean, 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 clean. I am so happy. Let Let me connect the icon. Make sure we get no faults. There was absolutely no faults before either. But yeah, this is 100% fixed. I am very happy. I can change the injector milliseconds with a map. Yeah, we can change. We can see the change immediately. It went to 0.6. This will. Oh, that's a TPS. Sorry. This is the map. Yeah, we can see the change on the pulse width as it says 1.5, and it's working beautiful. So what am I have? 14.2, no 12 point. I like to keep it in 12.6, and I know guys you're not seeing too much on that. Let's raise the RPM. Nice and smooth on the injectors. No, nothing wrong. I'm changing the throttle position, and it's good, 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 good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. But let's go back down to idle. Set the throttle to idle, which is around there, and return. And remember when I turned this off before, we had that beep and no longer happened. So guys, this is 100% repair. Brad, I'm got good news. Your computer is ready to go. I will be contacting you shortly, or actually not shortly because it's late. It's 8 p.m. So I will be contacting you tomorrow, giving you the good news, and then collect payment to send you this as soon as possible. Thank you so much for your business. I hope to help you in the future. For those that are watching the video, I hope that you like all this content in here and showing a lot of information and showing you that I do repair these modules. I recorded this video mostly because of this guy, Bob. I think he has a company of MEFI burn or something like that. He thinks that these modules are not repairable. Well, you know what, Bob? I think I can tell you pretty much shut your mouth, and the proof is in the pudding. Can you record a video where you do and show the customers what you're doing, or you know that you know nothing except for connecting a software and changing things? I know what I'm doing. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And sorry, a little bit of the rant, but I want to shut this guy off because he thinks he's the master of disasters on these computers. And again, he doesn't know nothing. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.